The number of people employed increased by 42,000 quarter-on-quarter from December 2021 to the end of March 2022. That's according to the quarterly employment statistics released by Stats SA today. Year-on-year, total gross earnings also increased by 56.6 billion rand between March 2021 and March 2022. The main contributing factors to the increase are community services, which increased by 69,000 people, manufacturing by 8,000 and mining by 2,000 people. Total employment increased by 200,000 year-on-year between March 2021 and March 2022. Full-time employment also increased due to business services and mining. Part-time employment increased by 192,000 year-on-year. However, there were employment decreases in trade, manufacturing and construction. Gross earnings paid to employees decreased by 28.2 billion in March 2022. Well, in these difficult economic times, employees are looking to get the best in terms of wage increases and other benefits, while employers are also keen to tighten their purse strings in order to better ensure sustainability of their operations. Despite what often starts out as polarised positions, it is possible for these differing parties to strike a win-win solution. But how? Well, to discuss this further, I'm joined by Advaita Naidoo. She's the MD for Africa at Jackhammer Global. Thank you very much, Advaita, for joining us. Perhaps we can first discuss the dichotomy, that is what employees want on the one hand and what employers are seeking to achieve on the other.
Absolutely. So I think, we don't want to come across as naive or out of touch with reality or with the majority of the workforce. We do obviously realize that cash is king and that most people would prefer a cash incentive or an annual increase. But if we work on the assumption that a liquid incentive isn't always available, and knowing that humans do crave advancement and self-improvement, what we suggest is look at alternate ways to ensure improved future career prospects on the part of the employee, and on the part of the employer. This is a way to acknowledge the immense contribution that teams have made. You show them recognition, you commit to developing them for the future, instead of seeing them as resources from which you need to squeeze every ounce of productivity right now.
Yeah.
So while the cash is not available right now, there are ways to see yourself moving forward.
Just following on from that thread, what are some of the solutions that you've observed and propose in bringing both parties closer together to strike that win-win deal?
So what we think and what we found just talking to some of our clients is that the two biggest bargaining chips right now are flexibility and future career development, and knowing what to ask for and how to ask for it in these difficult times is going to make the difference for a lot of people. I think in terms of flexibility and flexibility of work arrangements, we've spoken extensively about this in the South African context. We've seen that companies that are forcing employees to return to the office are suffering from decreased motivation and disengagement, and that will set them back even further as they lose top talent to competitors who are more progressive on the work from home front. And then let's be honest, petrol is expensive. If an employer can't keep pace with the additional fuel costs that employees are incurring, it would probably be wise to relax the return to office mandates and let them save the money that can't be earned with a pay rise. So that's the flexibility argument.
Yeah. So that whole working from home concept that you're talking about, it obviously did work and people were able to be productive and so on and so forth. But then there's the issue, business leaders talk about ensuring that they maintain the culture of a corporation. How do you best do that when people are now working in their various pigeonholes at home?
Yeah, I think that becomes a leadership question. And, as we innovate on products and go-to-market solutions, there are absolutely ways to innovate on leadership. One thing that we do talk about, and again, it comes back to the, provision of a compensation that isn't necessarily money related or doesn't come with the big pay rise or a big bonus. One thing that was critical during the enforced lockdown periods was mental health support. Employers and managers were so conscious of checking in with employees and making sure that they had access to resources that would keep them going. But we seem to have forgotten about that now. And wellness programs are widely available in corporates, not just referring to those once-off bike-a-thons and blood pressure checks. but an ongoing support program to support robust mental health, stress management, that should be part of an employee's benefit package. And it comes with a little extra cost for a company right now, but the benefits in the long term are absolutely untold.
Yeah. Speaking of long-term benefits, what about the issue of investing in people's skills, ensuring that they keep on reskilling so that they remain relevant and are beneficial for the long term, not just to themselves, but for the organization as well?
That's absolutely the right argument to take. I think an employee might see it as somebody investing in them or investing in a skill, but an employer should look at it as a long-term career goal. You're keeping your workforce very current, and there are ways to do this that don't cost a lot of money. There are global programs that are available online that are equivalent to a well-researched MBA. There's mentorship and coaching programs. Coaching might come at a monetary cost, but mentorship requires the investment of time. Both are very invaluable, and there are very few senior executives in corporate leadership today who haven't had the benefit of both of these.
Advaita, thank you very much for those nuggets of wisdom from yourself. Advaita Naidoo, she's the African MD at Jack Hammer Global.